In the realm of music, posthumous albums hold a unique place. Often released after an artist's death, these albums offer a final glimpse into the creative mind of the artist who has since departed from their fanbase. However, not all posthumous releases are met with acclaim. Some fall short of expectations, leaving fans and critics disheartened with the music being released. In today's video, we will be going over the phenomenon of subpar posthumous albums being released to this day, delving into the reasons behind these albums' shortcomings and the impact it had on the artists after. Posthumous albums are typically highly anticipated bodies of work, serving as a final farewell from beloved artists to not just their fan bases, but the entire world. These posthumous albums often offer a sense of closure for fans and provide an opportunity to celebrate the artist's body of work and achievements along the way. Moreover, they often generate substantial commercial success, capitalizing on the nostalgia and reverence surrounding the deceased musician. However, despite the potential success that you see with these posthumous albums and how much you know is going to guarantee you a successful first week sale, there is a lot of issues that goes into the creation of these albums. For one, there's a significant obstacle that stands in between the production of these albums, and that is the absence of the artist's input on the album's direction. Without the artist's guidance, collaborators and producers may struggle to interpret the artist's intentions accurately, sometimes having a jumbled up mess with different sounds colliding with each other, causing for a bloated piece of This pitfall can usually result in a disjointed or inauthentic final product that fails to capture the essence of the artist's vision. And as a fan of artists who've unfortunately passed away, I can always tell from their earlier bodies of work when the passion and love was put into an album versus when the executives have all the control and they get to do whatever they want and it sounds completely off from what you would imagine the artist to make. Furthermore, the label's pressure to capitalize on not just the artist's legacy, but their death, as harsh as that sounds, can lead to rushed or haphazard album releases, such as the ones we will be going over today. Record labels are demons, and at the end of the day, business is business. Regardless if you're an artist signed to them that has unfortunately passed, at the end of the day, labels prioritize commercial viability and raking in as much money as possible over the artistic integrity of the music creation, which then, compromises the quality of the album and subsequently tarnishes a bit of the artist's legacy along the way. Additionally, with the issue is disputes over rights and creative control amongst the artist's surviving family members or estate administrators. None of this helps besides complicating the production process and detracting from the album's cohesiveness. Over time, there has been many posthumous albums that have been met with criticism for failing to live up to the standards set by the artist during their lifetime. And one notable example of this is Michael Jackson's Michael album in 2010. Now listen, at the time of this album releasing, I was about 6 years old. I was born in 2004, so my come up with Michael Jackson obviously is all of his bangers, but during his withered stages of career where he was kind of falling apart as a human being, I didn't really get to experience that. So going back in time to listen to this album was very it was just uncomfortable because this is a Michael Jackson that I never myself listened to. I was listening to Billie Jean type Michael Jackson, so this was weird. This album was released just a year and a half after Jackson's death, and I will admit, previous to Michael's death, it was rumored that he was working on a new body of work, but that does not mean it was ready to go. This album is filled with unfinished demos and tracks completed with the help of various producers. And listen, just real quick, I want to let you know that a lot of artists do not just record a song fully through. A lot of artists just do half of a song, only one verse, or they'll literally hum out what they want to put on the song, but not even have actual words on the beat. So what a lot of labels have to do is tell producers to loop whatever the fuck they got until it's a full song, or you could just go get an unorthodox collaborator and just slap it on top of the song and make it a complete 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which a lot of labels do, which is why a lot of people don't like Posthumous albums, because they sound so manufactured to the point it's like, is this even in the vein and integrity of the artist? No way, an ad just played, bro. I'm sorry, I don't have YouTube Red, bro. I don't got that type of bread, bro. Chill out, bro. Because some of these songs sounded manufactured, critics and fans alike questioned just how authentic the material really was, with some claiming that the album tarnished Jackson's legacy rather than honoring it. Even collaborators involved in the album process were against the release of the album, such as will.i.am, who said in interviews at the time, "I don't think that should ever come out. How are you gonna release Michael Jackson when Michael Jackson ain't here to bless it? That's bad." And it doesn't end there, because not only were artists who worked on the album disputing the release of the album, but there was also controversy surfacing online about the authenticity of the vocals and the integrity of the production, bro. Yes, bro. People were so in disbelief that this album sounded so bad that they were genuinely questioning, is this even Michael Jackson we're actually listening to, or is there someone behind this shit, bro? During the album's release, fans and critics alike raised suspicions about the origins of the vocals on certain tracks, bro. One of the main points of contention was the claim that some songs featured vocals performed by impersonators rather than Jackson himself. This raised many red flags about the authenticity of the album and whether it truly represented Jackson's artistic vision. Fans scrutinized the vocal performances, comparing them to Jackson's earlier work and pointing out discrepancies in style and technique. Like I said, bro, I was so used to old Michael Jackson that I was literally deaf going into this album because I didn't really know what to expect. And a lot of people felt the same way, because when they went back to old Michael Jackson and compared it to this new shit, they were like, bro, something's not right. Additionally, concerns were raised about the production quality of the album as well. Some critics argued that certain tracks sounded overproduced or manipulated, suggesting that Posthumous producers may have tinkered with the original recordings to, achieve a desired sound, like I said with the label. Or honestly, anyone who just has creative control over your music. This further fueled speculation about the authenticity of the album and the extent to which Jackson was involved in its creation. Overall, the controversy surrounding Michael the album underscored the challenges inherent in posthumous releases and the difficulty of preserving an artist's legacy without their direct input. Similar to Michael's self-titled album being a stain on his legacy was Faith by Pop Smoke and his team. So I was recording at 5 a.m. so I was tired as fuck, so I went to go to sleep, but it's a new day, new shirt, so let's continue on. If you were on social media at the time of this album releasing, you will remember there was a lot of backlash and criticism, and basically everyone didn't fuck with it, even though there were some people, it wasn't that bad. It was basically, the consensus was no one liked this album, and it's because why would you release another album after I think it was Aim for the Stars, Shoot for the Moon, I believe the name was. And that was a good posthumous album. That was an example of doing a good job on a posthumous album. But then they just completely fucked it up with this one. There were many reasons why people may have not liked this album, such as the departure from the original New York drill sound Pop Smoke was known for. The album also featured a more polished and commercial sound, incorporating elements of pop and R&B, which alienated some of his core fan base who appreciated his raw and unapologetic style of rap. With these new sounds also came a over-commercialization problem, with some listeners perceiving Faith as over-commercialized because of the features from mainstream artists that seemed more focused on chart success than honoring Pop Smoke's legacy. And the album featured artists such as Kid Cudi, why, Dua Lipa, why, Pharrell Williams, interesting but why, and Rick Ross, why? And sure, these collaborations could have certainly happened if Pop Smoke was still alive, because if you remember, Pop Smoke was a fan of pop and R&B, so it's not too far from what he liked as an artist himself. But to think at the time of his passing that he had these songs and features ready and lined up for an album is preposterous. This led to accusations of his team and label pandering to a wider audience at the expense of authenticity. There was also a lack of cohesion within the album. Critics noted that Faith lacked cohesion and felt disjointed, with tracks that failed to flow seamlessly together. The album included a mix of styles and genres, which contributed to its lack of sonic consistency and left some listeners feeling disoriented. There were questionable choices that led fans to criticize the production on Faith, citing issues such as inconsistent mixing and mastering, as well as an over-reliance on autotune and vocal effects. These production decisions detracted from the raw energy and authenticity that characterized Pop Smoke's earlier work, and just comparing this album to his previous successful posthumous release, like I said, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, there was no reason at all for this album to even come about or be released besides the monetary gain that came from it. Overall, while Faith undoubtedly had its supporters and achieved commercial success, it also elicited criticism from fans who felt that it did not do justice to Pop Smoke's artistic vision and legacy. The album's departure from his signature sound, over-commercialization, lack of cohesion, questionable production choices, and with the comparison to his previous release, these were all factors that contributed to its mixed reception. At the time of his passing, Pop Smoke really had the trajectory to go very large and mainstream with his sound and his personality and everything he was doing, and is sad to see him pass, and is really sad to see his team and his label put his legacy all on the line just for a monetary gain. Because if you don't remember well, Pop Smoke was really that nigga, bro, and I'm not gonna lie, there's no one in New York drill or New York as a whole who's really touched his impact since, I'm not even gonna lie, Ice Spice, and that's crazy to say. Last but not least is an artist I personally loved listening to and was a big fan of at the time. His catalog changed not just my life, but a lot of people's lives, causing a massive heartbreak in his passing, and that was XXXTentacion. But I'm just gonna say X so I can make it shorter for this video. At times, it truly does hurt seeing what his estate and everything has done for X since his passing. His mom has been characterized as a villain who's basically draining the fuck out of the X wave and everything he built up before he passed, and it's really just sad because we genuinely haven't seen another artist like X, and I know that's crazy meat ride, but that's genuinely the truth. I don't know any other artist who had the touch with his fan base, and not just his fan base but the youth, like X. And I mean, Juice WRLD was a close second, but unfortunately we know how that went about as well. The album I want to be talking about for X is Bad Vibes Forever, which received a horrible reception by fans and critics, expressing disappointment and criticism. Firstly, the album was very inconsistent. Critics and fans noted that Bad Vibes Forever felt disjointed and was honestly just a mess all around. The album featured a wide range of styles and genres, including hip-hop, emo, rock, and pop, which wasn't new for X or his fans at all, but the way it was put together led to an uneven listening experience. The lack of a consistent sonic direction made it difficult for listeners to engage with the album as a cohesive body of work. There was also an over-reliance on guest features. This album heavily relied on guest features from other artists, which led to the album being more of a compilation than a true representation of X's artistic vision. Like, please tell me why Joyner Lucas is on a song with XXXTentacion that makes no sense at all. I don't care how positive X was going before he passed. There was no way X was about to get on a song with Joyner, Cornball, and Lucas, bro. Many fans, such as myself, felt that the guest appearances overshadowed X's own contributions and diluted the whole album's authenticity. And with any X Posthumous album, there is going to just be bad production all around. And what do you even expect when you're working with like 50-second snippets of X singing or rapping, sometimes just mumbling? As much as I want to put flock on the producers, that was just how X was. He was an artist who recorded pieces of songs before finishing them, which is okay. That just means don't put it out. Stop looping vocals, then adding a feature to make a complete 2-minute and 30-second song. Comparing any of X Posthumous releases with his 17 and question mark albums is like comparing apples and fresh dog shit. They're just so obviously different, and I completely understand the hate any of X Posthumous albums receive. Yes, that is including Skins, but I will admit Skins was not as bad as Bad Vibes Forever, and I'll stand on that. I would give Skins a good 6, while this is like a 3, bro. I don't care. Overall, while Bad Vibes Forever had its supporters and achieved commercial success, it also faced criticism for its inconsistency, over-reliance on guest features, posthumous production which was horrible, and obviously comparing it to his previous releases, these factors contributed to the album's horrible reception and its poor standing amongst his fans and critics. These albums have impacts on artists' legacies. The release of a subpar posthumous album can have lasting implication for any artist's legacy. Rather than serving as a fitting tribute, it may cast doubt on the artist's authenticity and artistic merit. Fans may feel disillusioned by the perceived exploitation of the artist's name for commercial gain, leading to a loss of trust in the artist's estate and record label. Moreover, subpar posthumous albums can overshadow the artist's earlier achievements, shifting the focus from their groundbreaking work to their final flawed release. This distortion of their legacy can cause misconceptions about their talent and undermine their contributions to the music industry. In conclusion, posthumous albums hold the promise of preserving an artist's legacy for future generations to appreciate. However, when executed poorly, they can detract from the artist's reputation and leave a blemish on their musical legacy. To honor the memory of deceased artists respectfully, stakeholders must prioritize authenticity and artistic integrity over commercial interest. Only then can posthumous albums serve as a fitting tribute to the enduring talent and creativity of the artists we have lost. And if you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you very much. I know I've been gone for a while and this video might be longer for your tasting, but I do want to get more into my video essays and documentaries. And if you made it this far, I do want to give y'all a brief talk real quick. I was thinking about starting, oh my god, it's so unbalanced. I was thinking about starting a second channel where I basically put all my commentary videos, vlogs, underground shit, all the stuff that some people subscribe to me for, and put it there, and then just leave this channel for video documentaries and video essays, or I could just put it all together on one channel. I want to know what y'all think. Just leave it in the comments. I might put a poll up just to make it easier, but I love y'all. Thank you for watching. See y'all next time. Zeo out, soldier out. Bye.